Is your career on track or are you going nowhere? Do you know what's next for you and will you make the right move? Make better career decisions using Carol, our AI-powered career coach, and enjoy a richer life and happier career. Click on the link now for your free career report and start living the life you deserve. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Singapore. Good morning, everyone on LinkedIn. Welcome back to our Career Success Show with Adrian and Yen. And as usual, every Friday morning, we have this episode for you to learn and enjoy the wisdom and the knowledge of Yen and myself. So we apologize because we've not been on air for the past 2 weeks because Yen has been down with COVID and she's recovering. Yen, how are you feeling today, Yen?
I'm feeling great. What do you mean by learning our wisdom? Come on, we're just sharing. And we're happy to share. And I'm happy to be back. It's Friday, TGIF to everybody.
Oh, yeah, fantastic, right? Well, wisdom comes from lots of failures. So yes, lots of wisdom we love to share because we've always believed that you learn by failures, you learn by successes, and we're just here to share all the information and our knowledge with you. For those of you who are not familiar, my name is Adrian, and I'm the CEO and founder of Career Agility International. And with me, as always, is Yen, our executive director. And how are you feeling today, Yen? Compared to, I know last week was pretty rough for you with COVID recovery. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine. I sound a little bit muffled. I occasionally will cough, so apologies in advance. Anyway, if I do have a coughing fit, you'll just carry on talking, okay?
I'll carry on talking.
Yes.
I'll just carry on talking non-stop until you stop coughing. So once again, want to welcome everybody who's tuning in today on this lovely Friday morning. I know a lot of individuals, a lot of our listeners and viewers this week, they are on leave, and because it's such a nice, lovely long weekend to have if you just take the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday off, and they're all not in Singapore. So for those of you who are tuning in from overseas, wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying your break. We have interesting news lately coming up from we talked about it a little bit on yesterday's 91.3 FM show, and it's quite interesting because it was and it is a major talking point with a lot of companies right now. So right now, let's move on to headline news. You can see. Yeah, and the headline news this week is that companies in Singapore are in danger of losing talent over mental health and fatigue woes. So yeah, are you feeling fatigued?
I am feeling fatigued, but I think it's just the aftermath of COVID.
Yeah.
But the mental health and fatigue is very real, and I think given how stressful everyone's job is, or how much pressure everyone's been under, I'm not surprised that this is making headlines.
Yeah, in fact, the report was saying that close to 80% of Singaporeans are feeling stressed out. And I think actually the numbers higher than that, I would believe, because in Singapore, it's such a stressful environment, not just at the office, on the buses. Man, I struggle on the way here. The trains are full and they're crowded. Ouch.
Well, I also think that if your job is not life threatening type roles or mission critical roles, right? Maybe you can take time off to chill out a little bit. But I think our healthcare professionals, the people who work in that kind of very, very stressful environments, right? I think we need to do something about it.
Yeah, because they can't take the foot off the pedal, right? Because the moment they take the foot off the pedal, somebody dies, right?
Or they give you the wrong medication, or you know what I mean? I mean, mistakes can be life-threatening.
I can imagine, air traffic controller, jobs like that is like high
Yeah,
stress.
right. Yeah, but I think also our banking systems, we got to make sure that we never take the foot off the pedal of our security systems. The last thing we need, right? Another cyber attack.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry,
But
apologies for going down the catastrophic path, but yes, we need to take care of our people.
but you got a point. No, let's take care of our healthcare workers now, our essential workers. But what do you think companies can do to to pay more attention? I believe companies should pay more attention to this. But what specific examples have you encountered of your clients or our clients who have effectively done this?
Unfortunately, not a lot, and it's not. I don't know. I really don't think that we're doing enough, but I also don't have any ideas on what we can do, because it is the nature of the beast. So it's very. I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Because I've not heard of anything. I mean, you always say things like, yes, companies can give more days off, or
mental
if
days
you
off.
need to take time off. But do people really want to take time off? And when they do take time off, do they really unplug?
Yeah, that's why I think some companies do give extra days off, and it's either in the form of unofficial leave. You can just take the day off, up to 5 days, I would say. But it's also the bosses. I mean, the bosses are not being unreasonable, or if the bosses are okay and not too demanding, I think that takes a bit of the pressure off. But you tell me, the bosses are also under a lot of pressure, so the pressure
That's
just keeps
right.
coming down all the way. So
Yeah, I think it's systemic.
My take on it is sometimes you can't just rely on a company to look after your mental health. I think you need to be able to check in and check out from work, after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. If it's not urgent, you have to answer that WhatsApp message, especially if you're at dinner
Yeah.
table with your family, and a message comes in, and then you go beep beep, and then you look at it, and it gets annoying for the other partner. I can imagine. I get a complaint all the time from my wife.
I know my husband's always on the phone, and my kids are always on the phone as well at the dinner table. But that is a different, again, a different strategy, because not everyone can compartmentalize. So maybe we need to teach people how to compartmentalize and start drawing boundaries. But easier said than done, right? I mean,
It is.
can you imagine if you don't respond immediately, and then maybe you're marked down a notch or two, and then your boss is not happy with you, and then tomorrow or the day after you suffer the consequences of not responding in a timely manner. We have a comment. Someone has commented that we should invest in automation to transfer repetitive types of jobs. I don't know. Yes, repetitive tasks can be mind-numbing, but I think the mental stress and the pressure comes from responsibility, expectations, and a lot more than that. It's not as simple as just automating tasks, if you know what I mean.
But I agree with Joel. Automating. The repetitive tasks really get to me as well. So if I can automate it, it's okay. Sometimes the repetition can be quite draining. Let me tell you what's one of the most one of the jobs which I always admire. Okay, with a lot of repetition, teachers. Okay, when you go to mark 40 answer scripts, the same. It's just so mind-boggling. I just marked my daughter's one and I want to die already. Can you imagine having to mark 40 of the same questions? It's like in the old days we used to go, okay, this half of the class exchange, the other half you mark your own paper, but I don't think they're allowed to do that now.
I think today they've got other ways of doing the marking now. Everything's on a learning system of some sort, and so it takes a little bit away. But again, yes, our teachers, they deserve a lot of respect. Yeah,
they do.
Thanks,
they do.
Gladys. Gladys
Yes.
just said to get well. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah,
I'm better now.
Yeah, and for those of you who are not in Singapore, watching us, they're not in Singapore. Happy National Day! So,
why are you not in red?
I'm not in red. I was in red yesterday on radio, and I couldn't find a red outfit for this, so I'm just gonna wear this. But if you are feeling stressed out, take time off, take a step back. You are of no use to your company or your family members, or to yourself even if you fall sick. Okay, so just be mindful of that. The weekend's coming up. Learn how to chill a little bit, and I'm sure things are gonna get better, no matter how stressful where you are. Okay, and it's talking about stress, Yan and I were talking to our corporate clients the past 2 weeks, because we've been doing a lot of corporate training for our clients, especially with respect to career development and even interviews. And one of the topics that came up very commonly is that in this market where a lot of candidates are coming in, because there are a lot of jobs available and candidates are coming in, they're a bit spot for choice, and they are coming in very unprepared, or having a different type of mindset. That's why
hiring
I don't know.
managers that I've been speaking with
Yeah,
are mostly complaining about finding good candidates. It's not about the quantity, but more the quality. I think a lot of our hiring manager clients were highlighting that they would like to recruit someone and just have that person, have that whole recruitment process be smooth. And it's
streamlined, right?
not about the quantity, isn't it? I mean, yes, I've got like 20 candidates,
But also
or
the
20
quality of the
applicants.
attitude as well. I don't know,
Yes,
one of the
yes.
feedback I've gotten recently is that it's like, hey, I'm here, hire me, or it's your loss kind of thing. So it's a far cry from 2 years ago in the middle of COVID. So I think that the market has shifted, the tide has changed, and a lot of hiring managers end up being very frustrated, and and as a result, a lot of candidates feel frustrated too, saying, that hiring manager or that headhunter, he's a moron, he doesn't know what he wants, or maybe sometimes they even approach the interview with trepidation and worries, like, what to expect and everything. So today we wanted to flip the script a little bit and share with you 5 secrets that hiring managers wished you knew.
Let's go.
So, for those of you who just joined us, my name is Adrian. I'm the CEO founder of Career Agility International, and Jens, our executive director and co-founder as well. If you're wondering what qualifies Adrian and Yen to be talking about the 5 secrets hiring managers wish you knew, it's because both of us, prior to starting Career Agility International in 2018, we have spent a lifetime, almost a lifetime, career lifetime in headhunting and recruitment. So we have been in the hiring manager's position before. We've been in the shoes of the interviewer, and really these 5 things that we want to share with you are true. And if you can understand the concept and the thoughts behind it, you will be able to sail through the interview a lot smoother and with a lot more stress and a lot more focus, right, Ian?
Maybe it's not just the interview, but the whole caboodle, right? I mean, the application stage, submitting your resume, and then attending the interview. And then how many interviews on average? 5, 10, 13? and then there's this whole process where you have to negotiate and then potentially have to resign, and it's a lot, right? But today let's just focus on the thought process of the hiring leaders.
Yeah. And one of the first things that we always want to share with this is this, we not realize it, especially if you're going into an interview and you're nervous for the interview, but interviewing is just as stressful for the hiring manager as it is for the interviewee.
Absolutely, because chances are the hiring person is busy, okay? And yes, they would have read your resume, but do not expect them to remember all the details of your resume. And so I hear a lot of candidates complain, the interviewer did not even read my resume. That's possible, but chances are they did, and they cannot remember because there's more important things that they need to take care of. So, and then when they do meet you, and as with all first-time meetings, it's stressful for them as well. They're going to be concerned about ensuring that they ask the right questions. There's some minefields they need to avoid. So they're going to not be exactly I don't know. You might not feel that way, but sometimes in the early days when I was conducting a long interview, I worry about the type of question and how the question is perceived by the candidate. I worry about inadvertently offending the candidate, because sometimes I can ask the question a little bit too directly, or maybe the tone is off. Like, so help me understand why I should hire you versus, so why should I hire you? It's all in the tone, isn't it?
It is. And especially for hiring managers, you may not realize it, but it's a very high risk activity for him. Okay, if I'm hiring a salesperson for my team, it's a lot of risk involved because I want to make sure I choose the right person. And if I choose the wrong person and he comes on board, okay, if I'm not filtering them out properly, or if I'm not selecting it properly, if we select a wrong person, he comes on board, I got to wait 3 months for him to finish up his whatever notice period. He's going to come in 3 months later. He's going to take another 3 months to figure out the products we are selling, the market, the clients. It's going to take another 3 or 6 more months to get running, get traction. It's almost 9 months to a year before he starts contributing. And after 6 months or 9 months after joining after this interview process, okay, if he's not the right one, imagine I got to fire him, then I got to give him another 3 more months notice, and then I got to kickstart a new search. It takes about 1 year, and I would have lost 1 year of revenues. So for the hiring manager, no matter what position they're hiring for, it is a very risky proposition. And although they're excited at the promise of having someone high potential coming to help them, but there's always that risk, that nagging voice at the back of their head saying that, hey, what if it doesn't work out? So it's a very stressful process for the hiring managers as well, right, Yen?
And to top it off, they are not measured on the recruitment process. So they are, if they have 40 hours per week to do the work that they need to do to meet the KPIs they're paid to do, recruitment is actually not measured. It's an extracurricular activity, if you will. So it takes up a lot of effort on their part as well.
True.
So, to all our listeners out there, I think it'd be good to empathize a little bit with the hiring leader so that you can help them along with the process.
Yeah. And not just the hiring managers, the HR managers or the talent acquisition leader who is interviewing you as well, they have an even more stressful role, because in order to have that perfect candidate, they normally have to interview at least 6 to 8 people. Okay, but before that, they even have to plow through like 50 or 80 CVs just to whittle down to that level. And it's a very painful process, a lot of time. Can you imagine spending 1 hour and for one role, you got to spend 1 hour with each individual, and you're like have 8 individuals, and then you got costs and everything. It's almost one whole day taken up just for one role at the front end of one role. And the biggest worry for the talent acquisition folks is that they are worried that what if I put this candidate forward to my line manager or the hiring manager, and they think I'm an idiot for putting this person through. So it is very stressful for everyone involved, not just you. Okay,
or they cannot find any candidates, and then they get scolded by the line for not surfacing candidates.
Yeah.
We've been in that situation. I mean, I've been in that situation when I was recruiting, and in some cases, because the role is so, I guess, specific or difficult to fill, and I'm unable to surface candidates, and then you get scolded by your hiring managers for not creating candidates for them. Hello?
Yeah, create. Yeah, it's a very
create. I have to combine 3 different candidates so that they can meet the person's specifications, and sometimes they're just being unreasonable.
Cut and paste,
yes,
monster.
absolutely, yeah. Everyone's stressed out in this.
I've had experience like that. So I've had clients as well previously. You say, yeah, I like this part of candidate A, I like that part of candidate B. Can you find a candidate C? It's like, okay, yeah, let me try to do some gene splicing and can I come in like 50 years?
I used to get one, the typical profile, right? I need a consultant, a business analyst who can do sales, understands banking domain, understands derivative trades. That means can do DY by DX. Ideally from Ivy League University, between the ages of 25 to 35, and preferably who can do sales as well. What?
Hey,
and speaks 3 languages.
Hey, that doesn't take. Okay, I once was approached by a client, a really, really big businessman, quite traditional, quite superstitious, and besides that whole long list which you just gave, he said, by the way, I've always worked well with people who were born in the year of the horse.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding you.
We're going to start calculating all.
I have to hire someone who's born in the year of the horse. I said, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that search for you. Maybe you can go to the Singapore Saddle Club or something. I have no idea. Okay.
Yeah. No way.
It is stressful. So the takeaway we want to share here is this. It is stressful for them. Okay. So likewise, do not be too stressed out on your own. If you're going in, it's stressful for you, it's stressful for them. But always remember, when you're going for the interview, as much as they're selecting you, you're also selecting them. Okay, so don't be too stressed out. Just take it easy, take it normally. If it happens, it happens. But if the interviewer messes up or slips off, just we're all humans too. Just cut them some slack, and make their job easy for them, which is what we're going to talk about in the other parts of today's presentation. So let's look at number 2. The hiring manager really wishes that you did your homework. Okay. Yeah.
They want.
Have you ever had a candidate come in before with mind blank idea?
Worse, I've sent candidates for interviews only to have them completely scuttle the whole conversation because they did not prepare well. They did not know the specifications, the expectations. They didn't even know which building, so they got lost, and so they were a little bit late. Come on, they didn't even Google the company. But yes, it has happened. It's when we say do the homework, we expect minimum, right? At least you've done some research on the company, the products, where they have their presence, who their leaders are, and maybe do a little bit of LinkedIn search on your interviewer as well.
Yeah, these are quite rudimentary, basic things that would not take up too much time, but you'll be surprised how many people don't do it. And you'll be even surprised, our dear viewers, that if you'll be even more surprised at how impressed the interviewer would be if you had just done that homework a little bit.
Yeah, I remember a candidate we presented once a long time ago, and the question was, so what do you know about us? And the candidate proceeded, because they were in the conference room and the company's values was displayed on a poster on the wall. The candidate proceeded to read word for word.
Wow.
And suffice it to say, I think they were shown the door after about 15 minutes. And this is not, it's not a candidate that was perhaps, you would think academically not the brightest type. No, candidate came from an Ivy League school.
No, I think that's brilliant, And do you remember the movie Usual Suspects? And Kaiser Soze reads off the clues at the back of the detective's wall.
No.
Have you seen Usual Suspects? No.
No.
You got to catch it. Okay. Anyway, I hope I didn't spoil your fun with saying that. But yeah, sometimes it's not sometimes. It's always good to be over prepared. Okay, there's so many things. Our clients who come to us for interview prep. Okay, we have clients who just need the interview prep because they've been going for interviews but not closing. So there's, I've got so close right to the final 2 candidates, but I'm not closing. And these are perfect jobs which I've wanted to go in, and I thought I'll be a shoo-in. But and if you're in such a situation where you're not succeeding, you're getting interviews, you're getting the calls from headhunters, and you're going all the way but so close but not closing it. Come talk to us, because there are methodologies, we role play, and we help our clients to land the job which they deserve.
It's different for every decade of age and seniority. And I think a lot of that is something we share, and it's a minimum of 4-hour workshop. And then, of course, we've got our one-to-one sessions to help our clients to smooth out the kinks, so to speak. It's different. A lot of our clients forget that when they today, they're very different than the last time they went through this whole process. So it's important with the positioning and all that. We help our clients contextualize it and position themselves a lot better.
That's true. And sometimes you don't realize something that if you're not trained to observe cues. Okay, sometimes it is difficult for you to detect your own cues as well. So we do simulations. Yen has done like bazillion interviews in her career as a recruiter previously, and even as a career strategist. So we're able to pick up cues very quickly, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, body language, things like this. So come talk to us. But one of the biggest things, as I said earlier, it's all about they really wish you did your homework. Just knowing about the company, the latest news in the market, what are new products, who's being acquired, things like this. Things like these go a long way because it shows interest.
Yes. So the role, the company, and the ecosystem with which the company is functioning. So yes, you need to also be able to spot trends, have a point of view, definitely, about where the market's headed, because you want to demonstrate not just your interest, but your knowledge above and beyond all that. So yes, please do your homework.
Yeah, I like when you mentioned point of view, because what really impresses me as an interviewer, okay, is if you know the competitors, you know which product has got what advantages, where the shortfalls of my product or my service, and how we could augment, and you got a point of view of whether there's this market that's not being serviced enough. Then what the market size and things like this. This coming prepared is such a big game changer, okay, and it's not just limited to about the role, about the company, about the market. There's so many other things that you can come prepared, even right down to researching the interviewer, like what Yan says. Okay, we train our clients to interview the interviewers, okay, in a way. Okay, so and in a way that's engaging, and it really gets we actually sit down with our clients and we run through the interviewer's profile even before they go for the interview, and we can highlight what are the things to talk about, what are the things they will like. There's a level of attention in which we go through with our clients. Fun stuff.
On the one hand, you do make it sound a little bit complex, but I don't want to scare people. And it's really just a meeting of minds. Okay, it's a conversation. It's a two-way street. We will help you with identifying conversational strategies and spotting things. It's not the most it doesn't have to be that robust. So like Adrian makes it sound very scary, but on the other hand, it's not as simple as it sounds either. So right, I mean, if you're finding, again, if you are okay with your career right now, good for you, right? Maybe a little bit of what we're sharing is going to help make a difference for you. But if you reach a stage where, like Adrian said, if you're not converting the first round to the second round, and you're not converting the second round to a third round, and then when you reach the final stages and somehow this is your third time you're at the final rounds and you're not getting the offer, something else is happening. Okay, that means something else is not quite hitting the sweet spot. Then come and talk to us. Yeah.
And there are reasons, which we can't get into because there's too much details. We had a client who could not close at the final round, and the solution was very simple. Was basically 2 or 3 tweaks, and that was it. Okay, and he ended the job quite easily after that. So come talk to us if you are stuck at your interview process. Okay, especially if you're a senior executive, and that job is just so frustratingly close, but you're not getting there. Okay, now make the job of the interviewer easy. Show them why you should hire them. They should hire you. Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely the interviewer's most annoying conversation is like, I ask a question and I get one answer, and then I ask another question, I get one answer. It's like pulling teeth. I know you're introverted, I know, but why, you're just coming across as very resentful and reluctant, and what the heck are you doing here, right?
Yeah.
It's a two-way conversation. So when I ask a question, answer the question and then expound on it a little bit. Tell me more about your thought process, and share your
why do I need to draw it out from you? It's painful. I once had an interview with a candidate once, okay, and finance person, so not the most outgoing finance tax auditor, okay. So and it was boring. Okay, I kept asking, what area of expertise do you do? Tax. What sort of tax? Corporate tax. Yes, I know you're in a company, so in corporate tax. What areas do you cover? Oh, I make sure that everything's in compliance. And it's like, oh, you're right. Talking teeth.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like speaking to my teenager. So, how was your day? Good. How good? Very good. And our conversation. So do the homework so that you can share a little bit more, and have a point of view about the market, future, the next fiscal year, where the products are headed, what's exciting, what's potentially an area you'd like to go into. Again, it's you want to, again, not just articulate, oh yeah, I'm keen on the job. You want to demonstrate that you're interested.
You have to demonstrate, right? And you have to show them, make it easy for them to want to buy. The interview is a sales process. It's a pitch. Okay, can you imagine you walk into a Harvey Norman and you want to buy a TV or vacuum cleaner, and you get asked, this TV, what's the features? It's got channels. Oh, what's nice about this one? It's a Samsung. It's like, tell me, what's the features, how is it easy to mount, is the quality, is the whatever it is, sell me, sell me, sell me. But a lot of individuals don't. They approach the interview process with okay, I'm just here. I hope you'll hire me. But make
Yeah.
it easy for them. Tell me as a hiring manager, how can you work for me? How can you
How
bring
can you
value?
help me? Yeah. How can you make a difference? How can you contribute, right? You know how when we use the word interview to describe this process,
Mhm.
people immediately think, you know, how a journalist would question, say, the athlete who's just come off the field. How do you think you did? And then the guy just answers the question, and then the interviewer has to ask another question. So there's
Mhm.
this misconception that an interview has to be an ask and answer situation.
Yeah,
Not really, it's a conversation. So
it's a
again,
conversation.
the question will be posed. You may
Mhm.
answer the question, and then you want to add on, and then you
Mm.
could potentially ask them back, because again, it's a conversation. It's not actually a journalistic interview, if you know what I
Correct.
mean.
It's
Yeah.
a conversation, yeah, right? It's not an interrogation.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, yeah. That's a better one. Yes.
it's a conversation. It's a two-way
Where were
conversation.
you on Tuesday between 5 and 8 p.m.?
I was at home. Do you have an alibi? Kind of thing. So it's like, I know I've been watching too many detective shows already, but
Yeah.
make the interviewer's job easy. Okay, go prepared with your talking points. Go prepared with your facts or numbers. Go prepared to present a, a story. Okay, about how you why you will be a good fit. And I think if you once again it falls back to your number 2 point, which is do your homework. If you do your homework in well enough, or if you engage experts like us who can smoothen the process, okay, it's very impactful. And I want to share with you as well. If you are a senior executive who is not going to by sole virtue of you being senior, there are not many roles that are available. Okay, you want to make each interview count. So don't waste them. Come talk to us. We can help you with those.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next point.
Yeah. And next point is this. I've always found it interesting whenever I'm interviewing sales candidates. Okay, because these guys can sell very very well, sell very well to the point where I go like, okay, is he selling or is he overselling? I have no idea, but I really hope he's as good as he says he is.
Yeah, I
So
guess what we're looking for here is a level of authenticity and
yeah.
integrity.
Mm.
I don't know about you, but I've met a lot of candidates who claim to be able to lasso the sun, harvest the moon, and convert water into wine. Sometimes it's a little bit excessive when
Yeah.
candidates oversell themselves, and then they go over this boundary when you are like, hey,
Mm.
a bit too much, and then
A bit too much,
you
right?
get very skeptical.
And sometimes our BS detector is high. Okay, for instance, so if we see a candidate in sales, in telco or software solutions, big enterprise software solutions, and they just joined the company for 9 months or 6 months, and then they say, oh, I closed this big deal with a DBS or this huge bank. Within 3 months, within 6 months, no, someone else did the deal. You were just there when the deal was
When it
signed.
closed. Yeah.
Yeah, when it
I,
closed.
I once I once interviewed a candidate who claimed he was responsible for the success of a particular project deal. And
Okay.
he wasn't very lucky because as a recruiter, I was working that market, meaning that I've met all the other
Oh,
players. And this is not the first time I've heard of this deal. And
everyone's claiming credit for that deal.
everyone's claiming credit for that deal, and we know that a lot of these large enterprise deals is a team effort, right? So this guy claimed he did it, and all I needed to do was to probe a little bit. What was the success factor? Who was the competitor? Who else were you up against? How long was the POC? I just interrogated a little bit, and then it became very clear that this individual did not really get involved in the nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
So immediately I negated a couple of marks. I just hang on, something's not quite right. But it's true what you've written here on the slide. It as interviewers, hiring leaders, we don't want to waste time trying to filter candidates. We want to ideally already know who we want to hire and have that person come on board and hopefully land smoothly and start producing, right?
Yeah.
So the whole process is it shows that the interviewer is really hoping that the candidates work out. Exactly. So you don't want to oversell, but you also don't want to undersell.
Yes, and I think one of the biggest problems we see is when candidates do oversell themselves, and the worst thing is not being detected. It's not in being detected; it's in getting the job. And suddenly it's like, okay, here, fly this plane because you said you can fly the plane, and you're like, okay, what do I do with this sticky thing? No, that's not called a so sometimes if you oversell yourself, especially incorrectly, okay, the worst thing is you land the job and then everything shows, then you're in trouble and your reputation goes down the drain as well. So you have to have that balance because the market is small. And if you join a company and if you're really shown to be not as good as you say you are, what goes around is spoils your reputation. It's difficult for you to land another job in the same area as well. So you got to be mindful.
Strangely enough, though, I think easily about 70 to 80% of the people that I currently work with are underselling themselves. I think there is such a thing as being overly modest to the point that you ruin your chances. So for this point, I would like to just highlight that if the feedback we give you is like, hey, hang on, I think you're not really articulating your skills well, please take it on board. And we ask you to tone it down a little bit. Please listen, because it's a fine balance, isn't it?
Listen to Yen.
But from the perspective of the hiring leader, they really want the candidate to be good at what they claim to have. The skills, the knowledge, the experiences.
So in a way, don't oversell, don't undersell. You got to be Goldilocks, just right, okay? And come to us, talk to us, and we'll show you the Goldilocks zone that you should be operating in.
Even she had a couple of failures before she found what was just right.
What was just right for her, basically? She was just nearly eaten by a family of bears. She was a intruder. She was a housebreaker. She breaking and entering. She stole their food. Their lights,
she broke a couple of things.
Yeah, she broke a couple of things. There was damage.
So yes, Adrian's bad analogy.
She's a criminal. Goldilocks should be arrested and thrown into jail. She's lucky she wasn't eaten by the bears because the bears had self-defense argument. You see. So okay, sorry. Once again, too many cop and robber movies, police movies. Okay. It's still not as bad a fairy tale as Sleeping Beauty.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, I know I had a discussion with my daughter many years ago, but okay. But the point is this: one of the things that the biggest secret, which they are secretly hoping for, the hiring manager is thinking is, I really need you to succeed. Okay.
Yes.
And the interview process is not there to filter you out. The interview process is there to make sure that you are the right person because I really need you to succeed. If you don't succeed, if you fail, it's my failure.
Exactly, because if the hiring leader hires someone who's a bit of a dud, right, the hiring leader himself or herself will also be under scrutiny by their leaders. And if you're not as a leader or as a team manager, you're not managing your team well, you're also going to be, I guess, scrutinized. And it's important for the hiring leader that the team is I guess hitting all the sweet spots in order and firing,
right?
and performing in order that the hiring leader himself then can progress in his career and everyone looks good, right?
Because a wrong hire results in your KPIs going down, being flushed on the toilet. So it will affect you. That's why secretly, the whole process, if you look at the hiring manager's psyche and mentality, is that I am not here to flush people out. I'm here to look for the chosen one. Now, I'm here to look for someone, okay, who can really do the job, and I can just leave it to the person to run, so that I can do my other stuff.
Yeah. So the last thing I need is more microing or more managing. In fact, a lot of line managers have reported that they don't want to manage people because they end up with having to settle things like conflict or performance issues.
I don't like
time and effort.
I don't like managing two big teams as well. Small team like ours is wonderful, it's perfect. And I don't even manage a team. The team manages me, so it's good enough. And that's why throughout the whole process, okay, what we've been sharing with you, points 1 to points 4, is that you got to make it clear for the hiring manager that you can succeed. And give me this chance, I'll prove to you that I can succeed. But for now, let me give you evidence that I will be able to succeed. And that's the whole thrust about interviews. It's a sales pitch in a way. I know Yen is a bit reserved whenever I say it's a sales pitch, because she's seen how I sell, and sometimes I sell like a used car salesman. But it is a sales pitch, and if you don't sell, you're not going to land a job. And someone else who sells better than you is going to land a job, even though the person may or may not be better than you.
That's true. It's been proven many times that if you are not able to articulate your skills or your value add, and someone else is, I mean, it's wrong to connect someone's ability to talk to their ability to perform. It's wrong, but it is, unfortunately, I mean, how the world works, right? And so if you're not able to talk about how you can help, how you can make a difference, then they're going to give the job to someone else.
True. So, in a nutshell, what can you do if you're facing an interview that's coming up? If you have been going for interviews and and you're not closing, you're not converting the deals, something is wrong. Okay, it may not be something that's wrong with you per se, but you could be sending off wrong vibes. You could be sending off alarm bells in your head without you knowing it. Okay.
Yeah, it could be something as basic as body language that you're not aware of.
Yeah.
Remember that candidate who tends to lean back, and then I told him, hey, just lean forward. And then his conversation became a lot smoother.
Yeah. And it's also interesting because we once had a candidate who was quite senior, and he could never get past the first round or second round interviews with the talent acquisition folks or the company. And after we analyzed it, we found out that it's because he works with very senior folks. And he works with, even when it comes to headhunters, he works with very senior headhunters. But when the company's internal recruiters themselves call up, normally they're quite young and they're quite inexperienced and unpolished. He tends to write them off. And to the point where he brushes them the wrong way, he rubs them the wrong way, and they don't progress his profile because they look at him and they go, this guy's rude, and they know. So he had to shift his thinking, and we helped him along with that. And he's landed good roles since then. So sometimes if you're going for interview, you need to know, you have to prepare. Okay, prepare for the interview, prepare, and then prepare. What do you prepare?
Some more.
Everything.
You pretty much have to write a whole academic paper.
Yeah.
In your research.
Yes. Okay. And you got to commit to memory. So come talk to us. Okay, we can help you with the preparation. We can tell you what's of value and what's not of value. Okay. Don't forget to sell yourself. If you're going for the interview, sell yourself, because no one's gonna buy you if you don't sell yourself, and that's just a given.
Yeah. I mean, again, don't be overly modest with your achievements. If you really did something, you ought to be proud of it. Yeah, blow your own trumpet.
Yeah, and of course, make it easy for the hiring manager to choose you. Okay. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Be likable. Yeah.
Be prepared.
And prepared. Be likable, and it's not rocket science, but it's, if you've done enough of these interviews, you'll probably understand what we're saying. Okay, so be open-minded and work towards a situation where you're going in, you're fully prepared, and everything's going to be just hunky-dory. Okay, but once again, you ought to prepare for difficult interviewers as well. Sometimes you're going to be prepared for many, many different things. Okay, so come talk to us if you're in that situation.
Yep.
Okay. And of course, if you do need help, come talk to us. We have our career partner program, which if you're wondering, what's next in your career, or if you're wondering what should I do next, or if you're interviewing but you're not able to get a good traction with wherever you're heading to, or maybe you even want to work with a particular company A, and you want to figure out how to work your way in there, come talk to us. We can help you with that as well.
I mean, again, no promises, but yes, if for the work we've done with our clients, just a little bit a bit of adjustment, and they make some progress along the way. But again, like Adrian is saying, he makes it sound like it's so easy. Come talk to us, and we got people who land. I mean, yes, that's true. But I also want to say that you need to put in the hard work.
Yes. And most of our clients do put in the hard work, so that's why they're always successful landings. And on that note, we want to congratulate a couple of our alumni who've just landed very nice roles as well. Congrats.
Yes.
Yes, it's so nice, and thanks for the
Mr. Lee.
breakfast. It's a tradition
Yes.
whenever our clients land, they get breakfast for us, and we are off to collect the breakfast now. It's being sent up. But no, thanks a lot for being part of the Career Agility family. Thanks a lot for tuning in every week on the Friday mornings and catching our reruns on the weekends. Okay, we really appreciate your inputs. We appreciate your viewing. And once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at info@careeragility.org. We're always happy to help you. Okay, especially if you have delicate career questions or career situations that you need help with.
Sensitive, difficult, complex. I think that's where we do the best work. And yes, please take time to recharge this weekend.
Oh yes, the weekend is here. It's
yes.
Yeah, that's fast. This was a fast week, and I was very happy with it because when we look at it now, when's the next public holiday? I have no idea. Christmas? No, Deepavali, I think. No idea.
I don't know.
I'm gonna check.
No idea.
I'm gonna check. But anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. Join us next week if you have any other topics that you want us to talk about. Always happy to be here for you. And drop us a note at info@careeragility.org. Okay, have a great weekend ahead, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.